Right then, welcome back to the channel. Do apologise for the poor lighting. Um, yeah, so I've got myself a drink, and today's video is going to be shot on the top of the one of the freezers. So, bit of a weird one, but yeah, today's video is going to be a Christmas video. In particular, what I got for Christmas regarding model railways and stuff like that. Uh, First of all, I hope everyone's had a great Christmas this year. I hope you got everything you wanted and you were with all your friends, family, loved ones, and just in general, it was a great time. I can say mine was. I had a great time myself. I do feel for those who are working today on Boxing Day. Spare a thought for myself. I'm back in tomorrow on late shifts for 2 days, and then I go back properly next week on nights. So the time for fun and taking it easy is coming to an end, unfortunately. So I thought just before the normal, boring, mundane stuff takes back over, we'll do a nice video showing what I got. And yeah, just a nice little positive video. So I'll be back in a second. Right, so second thoughts, we're going to move into the front room to do this video. Just make it a little bit easier, better lighting, and everything's in here. So again, back in a second, I do apologise. So first thing I got this year, this is a little bit of a strange one, but it will make sense in a second, is this heater. It's a heater fan. Have been asking for one of these for a while. This will be perfect when we get the garage converted, just for heat really. So obviously. So yeah, that's that was sort of my biggest present, and one of the ones that I really did need. Just a little update on the layout itself. I've had the money to get it done now for a while. We're just getting Christmas, which obviously is now out the way, get New Year out the way, and then the shed should be coming early January, and then we'll start the conversion. So the model trains that I've got today, there's a spoiler, will not be getting run on the old layout. They'll just be getting saved for the new one. So that's the first thing I got, which is just a heater for the garage. Taking a brief look of everything else I got, I thought I'd just film the rest of it in one go, so to speak, just because some of it is not really, although it's great stuff for me and I really appreciate it, just as like a video topic, a brief look's probably enough. We can go into other things in detail. So just briefly, I got the usual stuff everyone gets. So that, which is my favourite. Bit of aftershave, more stuff, toothbrush. That's all great, but that's sort of grown up stuff now that you sort of get where I'm coming from. This is what the main topic of the video is about, is like sort of this stuff. So we'll look at this first. So I got the Lego Creator London Route Master. I've never really done as you say, an expert Lego set, but I thought it'd be nice to have a go, so to speak, and keep me busy through day-to-day stuff. So I've also got a little Ferrari which my girlfriend got me, which is great as well. So they're two great little bits and pieces. I will try and get a video of these because I know some people do find them really interesting, so I will get a video of these up at some point. Another great thing I got was the Samsung Buds. Really handy for everything, really. I got them for my tablet, which I got for my birthday, which is fantastic. Took it to work. Was sat around, thought, oh, I'll watch a movie on my tablet, and there's no jack on it. So fantastic. I couldn't do anything with it. So that's that sorted now. First model I got is this, which is the Bachmann Class 47. It's an exclusive model, so they are in sort of limited supplies. This isn't going to be like an unboxing, I'm just giving you a brief tour of what I got. So these are great models, the Bachmann 47s, as we all know, DCC ready. Comes in a lovely packaging. I don't know which shop it's exclusive for, because Hattons are selling them, but it is exclusive for somewhere, although it makes no sense at all. They've covered up the end. So because for those who don't know, Hattons and Bachmann are no longer suppliers. They had a big falling out over the 66 that the Hattons are making. So Bachmann were like, right, see you later then. So they're not friends, so to speak, which is fantastic. I'm going to open this up off camera, start it back up again, just so I don't damage the packaging, and then we'll have a brief look through the through the model. So, as with everything that's modern with Bachmann, it comes in the fantastic packaging, you get the details and stuff. This is going to be a great insight video of the model. We'll do them in the upcoming months. This is just a show off, really. So, there is the model itself. One thing I do like about it is the extra details on the front. I believe they're time division multiplex cables, and you've got the vacuum pipe as well. This was the only 47 that went into Anglia livery and was used primarily for the drags to Great Yarmouth. Little bits and pieces that went to Lowestoft, and it was a Thunderbird loco as well. So they're going to be quite hard to come by, I believe. So I thought, I've got Anglia coaches, I've got a Anglia 86, a Helsian one too. So let's get this. So I'm really happy to have it. Get it shipped, and as soon as the new layout's up and running, we'll have this on the move. Additionally, it wasn't just models that I did get a few other little railway related bits. First one being this, which is a cab ride in a Eurostar 373. I think they're called TSM Transmac Super Train. That's what they're called. One of my favourite trains ever built. Unfortunately, not many are with us anymore. The E320s have took over. I'm not a big fan of the E320s just because they're a little bit mundane and boring. I'm sure they're absolutely great at the jobs, but that's not really an interest of mine anyway. This is a nice cab ride just because if you look closely, it's from Paris, but more importantly to London Waterloo. It's really nice to see the operations of Eurostar as it was before High Speed 1 opened and St Pancras took over. You really do get a sense in this, anyway, of the complexity of the Class 373, because it works on the French classic lines, the French high-speed LGV North line, then into the Channel Tunnel, out of the Channel Tunnel, onto Stage 1 of High Speed 1, then off at Forcombe Junction, and then through the southern region into London Waterloo. So all I'm signalling variations with the French classics, then you've got the high-speed in-cab signalling, and then the standard British AWS, TPWS. So really good DVD. Don't think you can get them anymore. I believe this was a nightmare to source, but if you can get one, definitely recommend it. I've already watched this and it's fantastic. As well as that, I haven't watched this one yet, so I can't really give you an insight. It's Traction 2019, mainly just because I love HSTs. And 2019's been a bit of a naff year for me, just because of my interest in trains, in terms of going out anyway, is basically finished from this year. You're going to have IEPs on the East Coast, IEPs on the Great Western. In the next few years, we're going to have IEPs on the Midland Main Line, and there'll be no more HSTs, no more 90s, 91s. It's just going to be units everywhere, and I suppose they'll always be free to keep us going, but it's just, I don't know. Oh yeah, we have heritage lines, and we have freight, I guess, and models. Obviously, they can't get rid of my model HSTs, so I've always got that. But it's an interesting DVD. You've got, obviously, the off-lease Great Western stock, going to Eli Papworth, the 50s that came out. We were down in Plymouth, I think, when they were released in the open day. But it's got the final day of Great Western HST action, freight, other little bits and pieces. Stock moves to the 313s going to Newport for scrapping. It's been a great year, hasn't it? But finally, I also got this. I am a member of the 125 group anyway, but my kind missus decided to buy me this, which I'm very grateful for. HST's up there with my favourite, especially in the earlier days when they were Volantas and in the old liveries, the old Great Western Barbie and the Virgin Cross Country, stuff like that. So it's a great book, just goes through the ins and outs. 41001, I believe it was. Probably wrong there. MTUs, the Australian version. I'm not going to make a mess of trying to say what it was properly called. But you've obviously got MTUs, VP185s, Volantas, every livery under the sun. And then back in the nice old days before everything was privatised and wrecked. If only we could go back. But yeah, it's a fantastic book. I have to give that a read too. The only two other little bits I need to show you are, again, models. So I'll be back in a sec again. The next model I got was this Bachmann Class 66 GBRF livery. It's is it that particular one? It is 701 Whitemore. Again from Hattons. I know they've made the new Hattons one, but I've got so many Bachmann 66s, and they're really good models anyway. It's not like a railroad standard, are they? And you buy you buy the Hattons one, and then your Bachmann ones look slightly different. So I'm going to stick to what I know. DCC ready, which again is important. What I can do, or what I'm going to try and do anyway, is fit what I can with sound. Obviously, it's an older model, just because you can tell by the packaging. It's probably pre-2013, 2012. So that's another model I got. And then my favourite, just because of nostalgia more than anything, is this absolute beauty, which is my favourite ever Loco, which is an 87. In one of my favourite ever liveries, although I'm not a fan of privatisation, this is what I grew up with. And the reason for getting this was because where I live, Liverpool, they've taken over all the freight work out of Seaforth docks from the 60s now. You've got these Drax biomass trains, and they've all got sheds on them. These don't go anywhere near Liverpool anymore, but they're just absolutely great engines. The box is fantastic. The only downside to it is sound. I can't fit sound to it, just because for some reason Hornby's design means there's no space to put a sound decoder in it. Well, a speaker, so to speak. That makes sense. So that's a bit naff. But overall, it's a great model. We've been crying out for decent electric engines for a long time. I've been crying out for them because they're my favourite anyway. And we've had Lima 87s, 1980s, Hornby 86s. That awful 90 as well, that doesn't pull anything other than itself. So we've finally got powerful engines with working lights, and it will comfortably pull a 9-car Mark III set, which is what you need with these beauties. I've already got the DVT, I've got lots of Mark IIIs from my childhood, so this sort of finishes that off. I'll open them up again and we'll have a little nosy in a sec. It's just a brief look at the 66. It's in the earlier GBRF livery. But we do have none of the details being fitted. It's all in bags. The couplings aren't on the Loco. They're in the bag, so these must be extras. They're not the ones that were supplied with it. But nice enough, it's been fitted with an extra nameplate. Just there. Whitemore, it's called after the yard. 701. As I say, I'm not going to review it, just a brief look at the model. DCC ready, can easily get a speaker in this, so it'll be a welcome addition to the layout. Just get a few fairly prototypical hoppers to go behind it, and we're laughing. And finally, last but definitely not least, is the Virgin 87 019 Sir Winston Churchill. In terms of the numbering, it's not really an 87 that sort of jumps out at me as being one of the more legendary examples of the fleet. 31 Hallow the Wind was my favourite, but alas, it's a fantastic model, and it's sort of one that went under the radar, 019, so it's nice to have it in model form. The pantograph hasn't been unpackaged. I'm not going to until I have a reason to, just because they are really fiddly. But it is, the livery's sublime. You do get extra nameplates, but they're in the bag, couplers, all that stuff. But you got your sprung buffers. There is a switch underneath to turn the lights to night or day settings. One thing I do really like from Hornby is the fact that they've not just used one tool and for all. So you do have the blanked multiple working cables there. And then just the time division multiplex cable switch were added later. And on the Virgin example, which is again is correct, is the addition of the file bottles on the roof, which were a later addition. So all in all, absolutely fantastic model, and that just caps off what has been an overall awesome Christmas. Got some great little bits to keep me going, keep me busy. Hopefully we can get this layout on the move now. We've got this out the way. I have got one more thing which is coming but hasn't came yet. As we all know, that nothing's perfect. But I can't complain about anything. I've had a great Christmas. I hope everyone else has too. Alas, have a great Boxing Day if you're watching this on Boxing Day. Otherwise, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.